Hello, my name is David Myers, and I am the Curator of Visitor Engagement and Exhibits at the San Bernardino County Museum. I've worked at the museum for almost 4 years. I'm originally from the Midwest, and I came to the Inland Empire and this museum after receiving a BA in Organizational Leadership and an MA in Public History, both from Northern Kentucky University. I also worked for several years at small historic sites and museums, as well as the Tennessee State Library and Archive in Nashville, Tennessee. My role as Curator of Visitor Engagement and Exhibits allows me to participate in almost every aspect of our public offerings. I manage all front-of-house activities, including the welcome desk and museum store, and I'm responsible for making sure that all of our visitors leave happy and hopefully wanting to come back again. In order to track just how satisfied visitors are with their experience, the museum has installed a survey at our primary entrance. My job is to monitor the responses and respond accordingly. We also use these survey responses to gauge the success of new exhibits and programs. Lastly, we can track valuable demographic information, like the average age of visitors and why people came to visit, giving us insight into their motivations and a better understanding of how to get them to come back. One way that we engage visitors right as they're walking through the door is through our augmented reality animal experience. Working with an AR technology company, the museum installed a huge monitor directly opposite the main doors. Using a special AR camera and program, as people come in, they see themselves on the monitor interacting with ice age and desert animals like scorpions, camel spiders, woolly mammoth, and Arctic foxes. At the San Bernardino County Museum, we work from a 5-year schedule of rotating exhibits, and I'm responsible for ensuring those exhibits are interactive, participatory, and reflective of our audience. For our internal exhibits, those exhibits that we write, design, build, and install in-house, I act as a project manager working with collections curators to establish exhibit themes, refine interpretive text, and choose relevant and exciting objects, and with a graphic designer to develop the overall look of the exhibit. And finally, I oversee our exhibit preparator who does the hard work of actually building and installing the exhibit. Most exhibits take 9 to 12 months to design, build, and install. But if I've done my job correctly, visitors to new exhibits won't necessarily see the complexity behind the scenes. Instead, they'll experience an exhibit that's complementary of a wide variety of learning styles, easy to navigate, filled with objects and images that spark conversation, and full of interactive elements.
Crate? Okay, pick them, put them back in the crate. Okay, put them back in the crate. Okay, yeah, you can do that. He's getting one back there.
We also want to build exhibits that capture the experience of our visitors because we recognize that our visitors are the true experts on their own communities and they have valuable and relevant information to share. To capture this information, we often ask visitors to share their stories and experiences with us. This participatory element puts the visitor and their own history at the center of the exhibit experience.
Hi, my name is Rose Garibay, and I am Mexican American, first American. And my father is from Los Angeles. He grew up and worked a lot there. I have family from all over, and I'm thinking that somewhere in my family somebody probably worked in the citrus industry and maybe long gone, but it's nice to know that I probably have some history behind that, and I'm happy to share that with you.
Good afternoon. My name is Crystal Flores. My grandparents worked in the orange tree farm and also in the grapefruit and picking back in 1930s here in Redlands, California. My grandpa's name is Rudolph Rios. My grandma is Rita Ontiveros. And they are a big part of Redlands, the city of Redlands, the history of farm picking and orange picking. And yeah, and I'm part of that history.
So I think that oranges are citrus and they're orange and they love to eat them. Everybody loves to eat them and they're also good for you.
At the San Bernardino County Museum, we also work with traveling exhibit companies and external curators to bring both regional and national exhibits to the Inland Empire. Since 2016, we've worked with these partners to bring to you Beauty and the Beast, Southern California Wildflowers and Climate Change, Eat Well, Play Well, The Afro, Footsteps to You, and various other art exhibits. In the next 2 years, we'll also be bringing to you two very exciting exhibits: Super Monster City, an exhibit that explores pop culture through superhero toys and comics, and Masters of the Night, an exhibit that explores the nocturnal world of bats. If you've been to the museum in the last few years, you'll notice lots of changes outside of our rotating exhibits. We've also created branded museum colors, updated our wayfinding, and installed interpretation in our garden spaces. This is all an effort to make the museum more visitor-friendly and reflective of our regional mission. One upgrade currently in the works is our Wi-Fi mapping and proximity notification cell phone app. Using the app, visitors will be able to navigate through the museum, easily locating points of interest. Using this same technology, proximity location beacons will soon be installed in all of our exhibits. These beacons will send a signal to visitors who are nearby, giving them access to additional information, audio, video, and 3D objects. I entered the public history field initially because I love history. I'm intrigued by the search to understand how current events are impacted by the past, because almost every choice we make is influenced by some event in history. But after entering the museum field, I began to realize just how impactful and important museums are. Sure, people learn from them, and it's always exciting to look at a new dinosaur fossil, but the real impact is through the concept of public service through public history. This is the idea that museums are not just there to house and preserve objects, but also to strengthen the community by being a space for conversation, enrichment, and inspiration, and by building a sense of shared identity. Because when people interact with each other over critical cultural conversations spurred by some interesting museum object, image, or idea, they walk away connected to each other and to the region in ways that aren't possible anywhere else. So I'm so incredibly thankful for the opportunity to work for an institution and in a region that understands the power of public history.